It's February 2025, and yet again, a brutal polar vortex hammers the Northeast. Power grids fail across Maine, New Hampshire, and Quebec. 11 long days in the dark. Within hours, supermarket shelves are stripped bare. And if you're missing item number 7 from your pantry, you're not just hungry. You're taking a dangerous gamble with starvation. I've been preparing for situations like this since 2014, and here's the harsh truth I've learned firsthand. Hope is not a plan. Not when we're living in an age of climate extremes, labor strikes, and collapsing supply chains. The reality most people don't want to face is simple. Your stash of granola bars and ramen won't keep you alive for long. What you need is real sustenance. Foods that deliver actual calories, nutrients, and shelf life. Just look back a few months. October 2025, Calgary. Wildfire smoke brought logistics to a standstill for nearly a week. 6 days without deliveries. Families ran out of food long before any relief trucks made it through. And it didn't just happen there. It's becoming a pattern everywhere. That's why today, I'm breaking down the 11 essential survival foods you need before the next disaster strikes. These aren't dusty cans of who knows what. They're dense in calories, rich in nutrients, and actually taste good when everything else goes dark. Wait until you hear about number 7. It's been edible for over 3,000 years, and odds are it's already sitting in your kitchen. This isn't fear-mongering, it's practical readiness. Food inflation sits at 9.2%, grocery shortages are climbing, and power outages have jumped 40% since 2023. But here's the silver lining. You can still secure long-lasting nutrition at today's prices, before panic sets in, before prices skyrocket, before the shelves go bare. Don't wait for disaster to knock. The time to act is now. 1. Hard red wheat berries. Picture one single food capable of feeding your family for decades. That's hard red wheat. These golden grains are small, but incredibly resilient, nearly immortal if stored the right way. Sealed in a cool, dark space with oxygen absorbers, they can remain viable for 30 years or more. That's not a typo. 3 full decades. Longevity isn't their only strength. 1 pound of wheat berries provides over 1,500 calories. Steady, slow-burning energy your body needs when power and groceries are gone. Unlike sugary snacks that spike and crash your blood sugar, wheat berries keep you alert, satisfied, and moving. In 2025, urban homesteaders are turning away from store-bought flour. And, for good reason, flour prices are up 22% since last year. Instead, people are buying 50-pound buckets of wheat berries, stashing them in closets or under beds, and grinding their own flour using $50 hand mills or compact electric grinders. It's cheaper, healthier, and far fresher. Freshly milled flour has a nutty, rich flavor. Nothing like the flat, lifeless powder from supermarket shelves. You don't need farmland or a cellar to make this work. All it takes is a 5-gallon food-grade bucket, a Gamma Seal lid, and a few oxygen absorbers. Stack a couple in your closet, and you've built the backbone for bread, pancakes, porridge, even homemade pasta. In a true emergency, that's not just food, it's trade material. People will barter batteries, candles, even ammunition for a loaf of real bread. Unlike freeze-dried mystery meals, wheat berries are pure, whole food. No preservatives, no chemicals. They're the same kind of staple your great-grandparents relied on. Cook them like rice, sprout them for added vitamins, or grind them into flour. They're dense, versatile, and time-proven, not just survival food, but foundation food. 2. Rolled oats with oxygen absorbers. Next up, rolled oats, the unsung hero of any emergency pantry. They might seem plain, but when stored properly in Mylar bags or sealed buckets with oxygen absorbers, they can last 25 years or longer without spoiling. That's a quarter-century of hearty breakfasts, DIY energy bars, and thickened soups when supplies are scarce. Don't underestimate their nutritional power. A single cup of dry oats gives you over 300 calories packed with slow-digesting carbs, fiber, and plant-based protein. When life turns chaotic, your body doesn't need sugar highs. It needs stable energy. Oats help regulate blood sugar, steady your focus, and keep hunger at bay. In stressful times, that kind of consistency is worth more than gold. In 2025, oats have become a favorite among city dwellers preparing for uncertainty. They're inexpensive, space-efficient, and simple to make. No kitchen skills required. No stove? No problem. Just pour boiling water over them, wait 5 minutes, and you've got a warm, filling meal. Add a spoonful of honey, which, by the way, never spoils, and you've just upgraded from survival to sanity. Even if you live in a small apartment, lack of space isn't an excuse. A 25-pound bag of oats fits easily under a bed or inside a kitchen cabinet. If you're finding this helpful so far, take a quick second to subscribe for more practical survival strategies. Hit the like button to let me know this content is useful, and share your own thoughts or experiences in the comments. I always enjoy hearing different perspectives. And unlike heavy canned goods, oats are light and easy to store. They stack cleanly, take up little space, and serve endless purposes. Blend them into pancake batter, mix with peanut butter for no-bake energy bites, or cook them into a savory oat porridge with freeze-dried vegetables. Many people dismiss oatmeal as dull, but in a real emergency, dull is dependable. It's steady, predictable, calorie-rich, and when neighbors are trading 2 cans of beans for 1 pack of ramen, you'll be calmly stirring a pot of hot oats, knowing your family is fed for mere pennies per meal. Better that than chewing on bark, and let's be honest, some cheap survival rations come dangerously close to that. 3. Canned salmon or sardines. When the power goes out and the fridge dies, your body still needs protein. Complete protein with all the essential amino acids that maintain muscle, sharpen your immune system, and keep your brain stable under stress. That's where canned salmon and sardines earn their place as a prepper's secret weapon. In 2025, they're more vital than ever. These compact cans aren't just loaded with protein, they're also rich in omega-3 fatty acids, essential for brain health and emotional stability during high-pressure survival situations. Skip these fats, and you risk brain fog, irritability, and even depression. Exactly what you don't need while rationing water or defending your home. Most preppers stockpile carbohydrates and forget fats. A costly oversight. Sealed and stored in a cool, dry place, canned fish lasts 5 to 10 years, sometimes even longer. They're ready to eat straight from the can. No cooking, no prep. Pop the lid, drain if you prefer, and dig in with a fork or fingers. Add them to rice, mash into patties, or eat plain. 0 effort, maximum nutrition. Here's a sobering statistic. A 2025 Prepper Nutrition Survey revealed that 73% of stockpiles lacked healthy fats. People fill shelves with rice, beans, and pasta, then wonder why they feel drained and irritable after 2 weeks. Protein and fat aren't luxuries, they're essentials. And don't underestimate sardines. They're cheaper than salmon, just as nourishing, and often packed in olive oil, adding extra calories and heart-healthy fats. 1 small can provides over 200 calories, 20 grams of protein, and a full day's worth of vitamin D and B12. Perfect for tight urban spaces, they take up little room and require no refrigeration. Stack them like books in a closet, and you're set. During the 2024 Pacific Northwest floods, families who had canned fish stayed stronger, clearer-minded, and more resilient, while those living on carbs alone grew weak and fatigued. This isn't gourmet dining. It's survival-grade nutrition for both body and brain. When the world falls silent, that little can could mean the difference between endurance and collapse. 4. Powdered whole eggs. Let's make one thing clear. Powdered whole eggs aren't relics from old camping recipes. In 2025, they've become a game changer for serious preppers. If you've ever stared down another bowl of rice and beans thinking, "I can't eat this again," these will save your sanity. Unlike the egg powders of decades past, modern versions include both yolk and white, providing a complete protein source with all 9 essential amino acids, plus vitamins A, D, and B12. 1 ounce, once mixed with water, equals about 2 real eggs, around 130 calories and 12 grams of quality protein. That's fuel for muscles, immunity, and morale when every meal starts looking the same shade of beige. Sealed in #10 cans with oxygen absorbers, powdered whole eggs can last a decade or more without losing taste or nutrition. No fridge, no fuss. Just mix with water, whisk, and you've got scrambled eggs, omelets, or baking ingredients that actually behave like the real thing. Compare that with fresh eggs that spoil within weeks, or liquid substitutes that expire quickly and need refrigeration. And there's a practical reason they're gaining traction now. In 2025, inflation has driven egg prices to $6, $8 per dozen across many US and Canadian cities. Meanwhile, a 25-pound pail of powdered eggs costs under $150 and makes the equivalent of over 300 dozen. That's a fraction of the price. Nutritious, versatile, and built to last. Urban preppers favor them because they're lightweight, compact, and don't crack or leak. You can toss a small can into a bug-out bag or store larger buckets in a pantry. During the March 2025 Midwest blackouts, households with powdered eggs reported higher morale because breakfast still felt like real food, not just survival mush. And let's face it, nothing boosts spirits like a plate of fluffy scrambled eggs or a simple custard when everything else is falling apart. That's not just sustenance. It's comfort, dignity, and proof that survival doesn't have to mean suffering. Because eating cold beans for breakfast? That's a fast track to mutiny, even if the only rebellion comes from your own empty stomach. 5. White rice. Vacuum sealed with oxygen absorbers. White rice might not look exciting. It doesn't come packaged in a tactical pail or stamped with a survival logo. But don't underestimate it. This grain is the foundation of long-term food storage for a reason. When properly sealed in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers and kept inside food-grade buckets, white rice can remain fresh for 30 years or more. Yes, 3 full decades. Brown rice, by comparison, spoils within 6 to 12 months because its oily bran layer turns rancid. White rice, stripped of that oil, is pure, stable starch. No fats to spoil, no surprises. Just dependable calories when you need them most. And those calories are powerful. 1 cooked cup contains around 680, while a dry pound holds over 1,600. In a blackout scenario, that's the energy you need to chop wood, haul water, or stand watch through the night. It's easy on the stomach, even under stress, and pairs well with almost anything. Beans for complete protein, canned meats for flavor, or powdered vegetables for added nutrition. When the world runs out of takeout, rice becomes your blank canvas. In 2025, white rice is becoming a staple in urban prepper households. Not because it's trendy, but because it's cheap, compact, and practical. A 50-pound sack runs between $35 and $45 and can slide under a bed, into a closet, or behind a couch. Unlike bulky canned goods, it lies flat and stacks neatly, making it ideal for apartments in places like Toronto, Chicago, or Vancouver. Cooking it is simple. No special gadgets required. Boil water over a camp stove, wood fire, or rocket stove, and simmer for 15 minutes. That's it. No oven, no power, just patience and heat. During the August 2025 California blackouts, families with rice reserves ate well, while others paid triple for emergency meals. Just don't toss it in the pantry and forget about it. Heat and moisture are the enemies. Keep it in a cool, dry location. Below 70 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. And always include oxygen absorbers, 302,000 cc per 5-gallon bucket, depending on airspace. Skip that and you'll end up with bugs, mold, or grains that taste like cardboard. White rice won't win any gourmet awards. But when your world narrows to 1 hot meal a day, that simple bowl of steaming grains becomes more than food. It's hope. 1 spoonful at a time. 6. Lentils and split peas. Don't overlook lentils and split peas. They're the quiet protein champions of any survival pantry. While most people rush to stock beans, these small but mighty legumes provide over 20 grams of plant-based protein per cooked cup. plus fiber, iron, and B vitamins. And unlike kidney or pinto beans, they don't need soaking. In an emergency, when fuel and time are precious, that's a massive advantage. Stored properly in airtight mylar bags with oxygen absorbers and sealed inside buckets, lentils and split peas can last 20 to 30 years. They're low in fat, rich in complex carbohydrates, and won't turn rancid like nuts or seeds, making them one of the most reliable long-term foods around. Red lentils cook down into creamy soups in about 15 minutes, while green or brown ones hold their shape for stews or salads. Split peas transform into hearty, warming soup that fills you up and keeps you steady when the temperature drops. In 2025, these foods are gaining serious traction among vegetarian and flexitarian preppers, people who want nutritious, sustainable storage options that align with their everyday diets. With plant-based eating now mainstream across North America, lentils fit perfectly, ethical, affordable, and shelf-stable. And the value? Hard to beat. A 25-pound bag costs roughly $30 and yields more than 50 meals, less than 60 cents per serving for dense, high-protein nourishment. Compare that to freeze-dried meals that cost $8, $12 each, and the math speaks for itself. During the 2024 British Columbia trucking freeze, when supply chains halted for 10 days, families who had lentils fared far better than those rationing crackers and peanut butter. They're also lightweight and compact. No bulky cans, no added liquid weight, just dry, dependable food you can stash anywhere. And yes, they can cause gas. But so can stress, fear, and living on nothing but white rice. A little discomfort is a small price to pay for real sustenance. When disaster hits, you won't care if your stew isn't pretty. You'll care that it's keeping you strong, warm, and alive. Lentils have been doing exactly that for entire civilizations, long before electricity or grocery stores existed. 7. Honey, raw, sealed. Now for the one food that never truly expires. Honey. Not the diluted corn syrup honey blends you find on cheap shelves, but real, raw, pure honey. Sealed tightly in glass jars or food-grade buckets and kept free from moisture, it will stay edible indefinitely. Archaeologists have uncovered pots of honey more than 3,000 years old in Egyptian tombs, and it was still edible. That's not myth. That's chemistry. Honey's low moisture, natural acidity, and trace hydrogen peroxide make it a hostile environment for bacteria and mold. But in a survival setting, honey isn't just fascinating. It's invaluable. Need instant energy? A spoonful delivers quick, natural fuel in the form of glucose and fructose. Perfect for exhaustion, hypoglycemia, or shock. Got a cut or burn? Raw honey doubles as a natural antiseptic, proven to fight off bacteria like E. coli and Staphylococcus. It's been used in battlefield medicine for centuries, and with antibiotic shortages rising in 2025, its relevance is greater than ever. Then there's the morale factor. When your meals have been nothing but beans, rice, and powdered eggs, a drizzle of honey in your tea or on your oats feels like luxury, a small taste of normalcy. It's comfort in chaos, sweetness in survival. Urban preppers know this. They're stockpiling honey not only because it lasts forever, but because it has countless uses. You can use it to preserve fruit, sweeten herbal tea, or even trade it when supplies dry up. During the 2024 Northeast blackout, locally sourced honey from backyard beekeepers quietly became currency in online barter groups. Just store it right. Keep it sealed and dry. If it crystallizes, simply warm it in hot water. It's still perfectly good. Unlike plain sugar, which offers only empty calories, honey provides trace minerals like zinc and iron, along with enzymes and antioxidants. It's more than sweetness. It's functional food. So while others chase expensive survival gadgets, smart preppers keep a few sealed jars of this liquid gold tucked away. Because when everything else runs out, honey can feed you, heal you, energize you, and remind you that even in the darkest times, there's still sweetness to be found. 8. Freeze-dried vegetables. Let's face it, most emergency food kits are missing something crucial: vitamins. Sure, you can live for weeks on rice, beans, and canned meat, but without essential micronutrients like vitamin C, your body starts breaking down. Fatigue, weakness, even scurvy become real risks. That's where freeze-dried vegetables come in, not as a luxury, but as a lifeline. Unlike canned or dehydrated versions, freeze-dried veggies preserve up to 97% of their nutrients because they're processed at extremely low temperatures that remove water without cooking. The result? Lightweight, shelf-stable, vitamin-rich produce that lasts over 25 years when stored in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. Carrots, peas, broccoli, corn, onions, they all rehydrate in minutes with just hot or even cold water and taste surprisingly close to fresh. In 2025, these colorful, nutrient-packed foods are taking over urban prepper pantries. People no longer want to live off beige mush. With growing awareness of hidden malnutrition during long-term crises, smart survivalists are literally adding color to their meals. A spoonful of freeze-dried bell peppers boosts vitamin C. Spinach adds iron and folate. Corn provides energy and a touch of sweetness that reminds you of home. They're also incredibly practical. A #10 can, roughly 2.5 pounds, yields over 100 servings and takes up less room than a shoebox. No fridge required, no spoilage, just stack and forget. During the 2025 Quebec winter blackout, when families were snowed in for nearly 2 weeks, those with freeze-dried veggies reported fewer headaches, stronger immune responses, and faster recovery from illness. Their versatility is unmatched. Mix them into rice, stir into soups, bake into casseroles, or blend into sauces. Even picky eaters will happily eat pasta when it's hiding a few bits of carrot and pea. While they cost more than dried beans, think of them as protection against deficiency. Scurvy isn't ancient history. It starts with bleeding gums, fatigue, and depression. Symptoms easy to miss until it's too late. In a world where food can disappear overnight, freeze-dried vegetables make sure you're not just surviving, but staying healthy, alert, and strong. Because eating to live shouldn't mean losing your vitality. 9. Peanut butter. Powdered or canned. When the world goes dark, you'll crave two things: energy and comfort, and peanut butter delivers both. But not all peanut butter is made for survival. In 2025, smart preppers are stocking either powdered peanut butter or canned, shelf-stable versions, not the refrigerated, natural ones. Why? Because true survival peanut butter can last 5 to 10 years, packs dense nutrition, and needs zero preparation. Regular jarred peanut butter spoils fast. The oils separate, turn rancid, and ruin flavor within a year or two. Powdered peanut butter, however, has most of the fat removed and is spray-dried into a fine powder that can last for years without refrigeration. Mix the powdered version with water, and you'll have a spread that tastes nearly identical to the original. About 90% of the flavor, with roughly 80% fewer calories from fat, yet still packed with protein and fiber. One 16-ounce pouch yields the equivalent of 4 to 5 standard jars of peanut butter, all while weighing practically nothing. Then there's canned peanut butter. Yes, it's real. Sealed in durable steel cans like soup or beans, it stays shelf-stable for up to 10 years, needs no stirring, and maintains that rich, familiar taste. Brands such as Peanut Butter and Company and Wild Friends now produce canned options designed specifically for long-term storage and emergency situations. Nutritionally, peanut butter is a compact powerhouse. 2 tablespoons provide 8 grams of protein, healthy fats, magnesium, potassium, and vitamin E, all vital for maintaining nerve health and muscle function under stress. But its true strength goes beyond numbers. A spoonful spread on a cracker, stirred into oatmeal, or eaten straight from the container can deliver emotional relief, a taste of comfort when the world feels upside down. For tight city spaces, think small lofts in Toronto or compact Brooklyn apartments. It's a perfect fit, lightweight, dense in calories, and easy to store. During the 2024 Pacific Northwest floods, mutual aid networks reported peanut butter as one of the most requested supplies. It wasn't just for kids. Adults relied on it for a no-cook, high-energy snack when power and fuel ran out. And don't overlook its barter value. In extended crises, comfort food becomes trade gold. A can of peanut butter could easily exchange for firewood, batteries, or even a clean pair of socks. Because when life collapses into pure survival, sometimes what keeps you going isn't only sustenance. It's the taste of the familiar. Peanut butter stands as that edible link to normal life, both nourishment and nostalgia in one spoonful. 10. Salt, iodized or sea salt. Salt isn't just a seasoning, it's a survival cornerstone, as critical as food or water. Yet many preppers ignore it, a dangerous oversight. In any real grid down or crisis situation, your body loses sodium rapidly through sweat, physical exertion, and stress. Without replacement, you risk cramping, dizziness, fatigue, and ultimately hyponatremia, an electrolyte imbalance that can lead to seizures or death. Beyond its biological importance, salt is one of humanity's oldest preservation tools. Before refrigeration, entire civilizations survived by curing meats, fermenting vegetables, and brining fish. In a future without power, that ancient skill becomes essential again. A single pound of salt can preserve weeks of meat, transforming short-term supplies into sustainable food stores. Here's the beauty of it: salt never goes bad. Kept dry in a sealed glass jar, Mylar bag, or even the original box, it lasts forever. Iodized salt adds crucial iodine for thyroid health, especially if seafood and dairy disappear from your diet. Sea salt provides trace minerals like potassium and magnesium. Either works, but aim for 5 to 10 pounds per person for a year's worth of cooking, preservation, and electrolyte replenishment. By 2025, salt's strategic value has quietly risen. During the civil unrest across parts of Europe in early 2024, salt was traded right alongside fuel and medicine. Once processed foods vanished, people realized how dependent they were on hidden sodium. Meals turned bland, fatigue set in, and cramps hit hard. Urban preppers often overlook salt as too simple, but that's short-sighted. A pinch can transform basic rice or beans into something comforting and sustainable. Morale matters. Taste matters. And salt keeps both alive. Beyond food, it has countless practical uses. Cleaning wounds, rinsing sinuses, melting ice, or deterring pests. It's cheap, about 50 cents a pound in bulk, light and compact. So while others chase high-tech gear, seasoned preppers quietly stash buckets of salt next to their rice and flour. In the end, when everything else runs out, salt remains. Ancient, simple, and utterly essential. 11. Multigrain cereal. Low sugar, vacuum sealed. Now for the pantry item few talk about, but everyone secretly needs. Low sugar multigrain cereal. Not the neon-colored sugar-loaded kind for kids, but hearty blends of oats, barley, wheat, and flax. Vacuum sealed in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, it can stay fresh for 10 to 15 years while keeping its crunch, nutrients, and that crucial feeling of normalcy. In a world narrowed down to boiled grains and rehydrated meals, a bowl of cereal with powdered milk, or even plain water, feels like a gift. It's fast, familiar, and requires zero cooking. That's vital when fuel is scarce, or exhaustion outweighs effort. For families with children, it's a lifesaver. Kids who turn their noses up at lentils or canned stew will often eat plain multigrain cereal without a fuss, easing stress and cutting waste. From a nutritional standpoint, the right kind of cereal provides complex carbohydrates, fiber, and essential B vitamins, fuel that sustains energy without the crash that comes from sugar-heavy options. Choose cereals with less than 6 grams of sugar per serving and whole grains listed as the first ingredient. Reliable choices include plain shredded wheat, bran flakes, or generic 100% multigrain varieties. By 2025, many urban preppers are turning to this approach not just for physical nourishment, but for mental stability. It's not only about calories, it's about maintaining morale. During the 2024 Ontario winter blackout, families discovered that small comforts, like a bowl of cereal in the morning, helped restore a sense of normalcy and reduced anxiety for both adults and children. Storing it properly is easy. Divide bulk cereal into 1-gallon Mylar bags with 300-500 cc oxygen absorbers. Seal them and keep them in a cool, dark spot. Under those conditions, it remains fresh and crisp for over a decade. A single 25-pound bag fits neatly in a closet and yields more than 100 servings for just a few cents each. Don't underestimate how adaptable cereal can be. Crush it into crumbs for coating chicken or fish. Mix it with peanut butter and honey for no-bake energy bites. Stir it into pancake batter for crunch, or use it as a thickener in soups. It might seem like a small thing, but during the long, quiet stretches of a crisis, that simple bowl of familiar cereal can be the flicker of comfort that reminds you who you are. Survival isn't just about staying alive, it's about holding on to your identity. Sometimes that begins with breakfast. Critical mistakes to avoid. You could stock every one of these 11 survival foods and still lose them quickly if you fall into these common traps. First, never store long-term food in attics, garages, or sheds. Heat silently kills shelf life. A bucket of wheat that would last 3 decades at 60 degrees Fahrenheit can spoil in just 5 years at 90 degrees Fahrenheit. That convenient garage stash? It's a countdown to ruin. Second, don't forget your water supply. Freeze-dried vegetables, powdered eggs, and instant oats are worthless if you don't have clean water to rehydrate them. In a power-down situation, water could be scarce or unsafe. Always store filters, purification tablets, or other reliable methods for sourcing and sanitizing water alongside your dry goods. Third, skipping oxygen absorbers is a rookie error. Air is the enemy. Oxygen breeds spoilage, oxidation, and insect hatching. A 5-gallon pail of rice without absorbers might last only 2 to 3 years. With them, over 30. Use the correct size, about 2,000 cc per 5-gallon bucket for dense staples like rice and wheat. Fourth, ignoring rotation and variety. Hoarding 200 pounds of white rice might seem efficient until day 12, when no one can face another serving. Food fatigue leads to waste and poor nutrition. Mix things up. Add spices, bouillon, or small comforts like cocoa or tea to keep meals palatable and spirits up. Fifth, accessibility matters. Don't shove your food supply to the back of a basement behind holiday boxes. Keep it within easy reach, under beds, in closets, or in labeled storage bins near the kitchen. When the lights go out at 2 a.m., you'll want dinner, not a scavenger hunt. Avoid these pitfalls, and your pantry won't just outlast the storm. It'll keep you steady, nourished, and sane. Let's face it, no one wants to think the next disaster is coming. But numbers don't lie. Grid failures have risen 40% since 2023. Food shortages are appearing from coast to coast. And if recent years have taught us anything, it's that preparation must come before need. These 11 foods aren't about fear, they're about freedom. Freedom to feed your family when store shelves are bare. Freedom to stay calm when chaos spreads. Freedom to know that whether it's wildfire, blackout, flood, or supply chain collapse, you already have the lifeline you need.